So we're back in California. I'm not plugged in. Sorry about the weird light thing going on there. That's just the way it is. I have a light on my battery that I use in the mornings, and I'm making coffee. Um, and then I have the light on my phone so that I can actually make a video in the dark if I need to. It's hard to make coffee though when you haven't put the coffee in the carafe. Oh, we have we have a French press, and as far as I'm concerned, that's the only way to go. I know people like their Keurigs, and my son has a Keurig. That's what he uses. I think he just has like 1 cup of coffee a day. But my husband and I have one in the morning, and it's probably about 3 in the morning right now. He was up at 2:20, and I was awake, but I was up around 2:40. And so anyways, I'm a little bit out of it this morning. It's always a busy morning right off the bat because there's pets to feed and coffee to make. And the puppy's full of it. He spilled the dog food, being clumsy, I don't know what he was doing. So I said, "What's going on here?" And he ran away. He knew what he did was naughty. Anyway, so I have a little bit of a mess to clean up there. I'm almost out of water, and when he spilled the dog food, he did it in big fashion. Most of it ended up in his dog water, in their dog water. I have an old dog here too. And so it ended up in their dog water, so I have to throw that out and give them some more water, which is kind of an issue because I'm out of water. I have this is how much water I have. So I'll give him that. My husband has some water. I'll go steal from him. So sometimes it's confusing to people. We had a van, and we were both living in the van, and then we got this tiny trailer. And I stay in the trailer, and my husband stays in the van. But we have the van to tow around the trailer, so we're always together. But he stays in the van, and I stay in the trailer. It's kind of helpful because he listens to music I don't want to listen to. He watches shows I don't want to watch, but these are important to him because he's disabled, and that's one way he spends his time. So that's what he chooses to do, and that's fine. But at least I have a buffer from that we don't have to listen to the same music or watch the same shows. I don't generally watch shows. I might watch some TikTok videos, some YouTube sermons or whatever once in a while. Not a lot of preachers I listen to, but once in a while I come across a good sermon. And what else do I listen to? Oh, art videos, like art tutorials and reviews on art supplies. I do watercolor, and included with that is some colored pencil and gouache. And I really enjoy doing art. I did a few pieces yesterday, but one was kind of just like to stay in the game. And the other was an idea I had, and I'm almost finished with it, but I'm getting some metallic, some silver and some gold watercolor. And I'm going to use them in my paintings. And so this one was, I was reading the story of the lady, the woman who broke the alabaster jar and poured the perfume on Jesus' head, and his disciples complained, saying it was so expensive that it could have been sold and the money given to the poor. And Jesus said, "The poor you will always have with you, but me you won't always have with you." And what she did was important and will be spoken of always when the gospel is mentioned, and it is, and I'm speaking of it right now. So anyways, I'm looking at my phone and I see not only do I have this weird light thing going on, but also up here, right there, my light casts a weird thing on my screen. So please just ignore these things if you can. But anyway, so this is the picture, and I'm not 100% happy the way I did it. This was the picture of the lady pouring the alabaster perfume on Jesus' head. I wish I would have left that tree out of there because it kind of covers her hand and takes up space with the alabaster jar. And I think the alabaster jar should have had a little more emphasis. So, but I did. I put a tree in the window. So there you have it. I could have just easily left a sky, but I wanted to give something interest. And I know that I don't have disciples standing around in this picture, and I put a window there, but I don't want to paint a bunch of disciples. And you notice I painted this as looking from the back, kind of, because I don't also want to do faces yet. I've been thinking about a method of doing paintings like faceless, like just kind of give a hint of expression without going into detail on the faces. I'm kind of curious about exploring that, so that's probably something I will do. And so I did kind of a bit of that. You see her face and her neck here. I want to add a little bit more contour to these probably, but I'm waiting for the gold so that I can do some gold highlights, like mostly from the alabaster jar coming down. I did paint a little bit of color here, but I'm waiting for the gold to finish this painting actually. And then this is another painting I did. It's just meh. But it was, like I said, to keep me in the game. It was just kind of a impromptu thing. Practice. I am fairly new. I didn't start painting until I think it was January of this year. So anyways, coffee is made. Going to put in the creamer and the sugar for my husband. I'm down to having to use white sugar now. It's just kind of a pet peeve of mine. I don't like using sugar so much, but and I wish I could use heavy whipping cream. That would be lovely. I used to use that, but I don't really have a reliable refrigeration unless we will run our generator all the time, which is cumbersome. I don't want to run the generator. So we use this powdered creamer. Sometimes I just drink my coffee black. And now they really severely reduced our EBT. I'm not sure why. Our numbers haven't changed, so I'm not sure why that went down. But I know my husband and I both went into a different bracket of like senior citizen type of stuff. I don't know all the terms, Medicare or whatever, but we're still receiving EBT. But we have a team now that does our, instead of a social worker, a team of social workers that do our reviews and things. And since that happened, our EBT went way, way down. Way. I'm talking way. So, so I'm not going to get my special sugar things usually, probably. So I have to, if I want a little bit of sweetness, I have to use white sugar now. Not a fan. But, oh well, I don't use very much of it. And then in my coffee, I put cinnamon and cayenne. Make it kind of an Aztec coffee that's not overly sweet. I mean, sweet coffee is nice and everything, but I prefer it not too sweet. And when it's dark, it's hard to see how much cayenne I'm putting in, so it might be a little warm. Not just hot, but warm. So there you have it. The French press, you're actually supposed to let it sit, like after you put the water in the coffee, let it sit for 6 minutes before you press it down. I don't have that kind of patience in the morning. I just want some coffee, and I think this is great. So I just press down, pouring our coffee. And the only animals I don't have fed this morning are the cats, and one is kind of hollering at me. She's a foodie, and she wants me to feed her, but I try not to feed them till closer to 4 in the morning, and later if I'm blessed enough to wake up later than 4 in the morning. That's always lovely, but it doesn't happen too often. Usually awake anywhere between 2 or 4, and which is okay. I mean, it's not like I have a schedule, you know. Today is Sunday. I know a lot of people will be going to church. I won't be going to church. Every day is kind of like church for me. I think that we should read the scripture and pray every day, and I know that meeting together in an assembly is important, and I wish I could do that more. But there are things that kind of get in the way sometimes, and so I'll just leave it at that for now. But for me this morning, I won't be going to church, but I will be reading scriptures and praying, and that's something I try to do every day, because it's important. My relationship with the Lord is important, and it is a relationship, and in order to have a relationship, you need to spend time, and we spend time for what's important to us. Coffee's made. I'm going to run my husband's coffee over to him. God bless and keep you. Have a wonderful day.